Grace Millane was born on the 2nd of December 1996. She grew up in Wickford, Essex in England in a loving home with her two brothers Michael and Declan and her parents David and Gillian. Grace was described by everyone she knew as being caring, creative, kind, outgoing and a fun-loving girl. Weeks before embarking on a trip of a lifetime overseas, Grace cut her long beautiful hair off and donated it to the Little Princess Trust, a charity which uses donated hair to create wigs for children with cancer. This was just one example of the kind and compassionate girl she was. After graduating with a degree in advertisement and marketing from the University of Lincoln, Grace went on a year-long worldwide overseas experience in her gap year. She started her journey in Peru in South America, and at the end, she was looking forward to the second leg in New Zealand. Grace's family and friends received regular updates on her adventures, and she would use social media every day to keep in contact with her family and friends. On Saturday the 1st of December 2018, the eve of her birthday, Grace was chatting to a man she had matched with on Tinder, the popular dating app. After being hesitant to meet him at first, they eventually made plans to meet and get some drinks. As it was her birthday the following day, Grace was probably excited for an evening of laughter and conversation. After getting ready to meet her date, she headed out of the base backpackers hostel just before 6 PM into the city centre. After meeting her Tinder date, they exchanged a hug and made their way to Andy's Burger and Bar. They are seen ordering cocktails, which the man pays for on his card. After an hour and a half, they finish their drinks and move on to the Mexican cafe, less than a block away. One hour and 30 minutes goes by, and they leave the cafe and head to the Bluestone room. The man was captured there earlier, drinking alone. The camera inside captures the pair sitting at a table after ordering drinks. Grace sent messages to her friends back home saying, "I click with him so well. He's an oil manager. He lives in a hotel." At one point, Grace leaves the table, and once she is out of sight, the male rummages through her bag for unknown reasons. Shortly after 9:30 PM, footage shows them leaving Bluestone and walking to the lobby of the City Life Hotel. After entering the lift, the man can be seen fumbling around for his keycard. The pair then head towards room 308. On Sunday the 2nd of December, Grace's family and friends flooded her phone with birthday wishes for her 22nd birthday. Probably thinking Grace was sleeping or nursing a hangover from drinking the night before, they didn't think much of not hearing back that morning. But as the hours went by and Grace hadn't contacted anyone, people started to worry. It wasn't like Grace. She had updated them with every aspect of her journey so far. On the 5th of December, after no contacts from Grace, her parents contacted Auckland Police and reported Grace as missing. Police sprung into action and contacted the hostel where Grace was staying. Staff members said Grace hadn't checked in on the 1st of December and that her belongings were in the room still. The police said there was no signs of foul play in Grace's room. Due to the vast amount of CCTV in the city, it was easy for the police to track where Grace had been. They also checked Grace's Facebook, and after seeing her with a male companion and seeing a man had commented on her profile picture, they started to piece together the puzzle and was able to contact the man. His name was Jessekempson. Jesse was born in 1991 in Wellington, New Zealand. It seemed he had quite a rocky upbringing and had spent half his time being raised by his grandparents. People who knew Jesse would claim he was a compulsive liar who would often lie about things from celebrity connections to having cancer. He lied to employees and landlords, but his lies would be exposed. His rent was being paid through state benefits, but he told the landlord at City Life Hotel he was a manager at Woolworths. The very day he met Grace, he had been dismissed from his job as a telesales advisor for telling more lies. The police tracked Jesse down the same day Grace was reported missing, and he was brought in for questioning.
He was talking to Grace on Tinder.
Yeah.
We'd matched on Friday. I saw that we'd matched the next day on the Saturday. And then we met. Yeah, that's us.
Down there?
Yep. So she's going that way, and I'm going across the street. I go down Queen Street. I go down Victoria Street, straight down to the bottom, and then hang a left, and I head towards the viaduct.
You've kind of walked in a bit of a funny direction if you were planning to go to the viaduct. Is there a particular reason you were going to do that?
I feel safer down that way.
And we're very, very concerned for her safety, obviously.
Yep.
It's entirely possible that she's been the victim of foul play.
Okay.
You understand what that means?
Yeah.
What would your feelings be about providing us with a voluntary DNA sample in the event that we can compare that against something? Would you be happy with that?
100%. I mean, I know I haven't done anything wrong, so I'm happy to do it.
Okay. At this stage, we don't know what's happened to this girl.
Okay.
It's possible that somebody has killed her. Okay. You understand that?
Yeah.
She might, when I say foul play, I mean that someone might have murdered her. I don't know if she's been murdered or not yet. She may be alive and well.
Okay.
But she might also be dead.
Okay.
Okay? And it could be that you've done it.
Hey, I just want to ask a question.
Jesse claimed he had met Grace the night before, and at around 10 PM they parted ways after having a nice evening together. He also claimed he went to message Grace on Tinder the following morning, but had seen she had unmatched him. What Jesse didn't know is that police were analysing hours of CCTV footage to piece together Grace's last known movements. She was last sighted at 9:41 PM on Saturday the 1st of December. David, Grace's father, immediately flew out to New Zealand to help search for Grace and to talk to the press, pleading for Grace to come home safe.
I'm David Millane, Grace's dad. Thank you for coming today. As you know, Grace has been missing for several days. We last had contact with her on Saturday the 1st of December, and as a family we've been extremely concerned for her welfare. Grace is a lovely, outgoing, fun-loving, family-orientated daughter. Grace has never been out of contact for this amount of time. She's usually in daily contact with either her mother, myself, her two brothers, members of the family on social media. She arrived here on the 20th of November and has been bombarding us with numerous photographs and messages of her adventures. We're all extremely upset and it's very difficult at this time.
The officer in charge, Scott Beard, met with David. They spent many hours together, and he described seeing a strong man crumble before his eyes. He pledged to do everything he could to find his daughter. The search for Grace continued. 7 days after she went missing, the police declared they were treating this as a murder inquiry. After viewing the footage, Jesse was picked up leaving the City Life Hotel. They followed his every move captured on CCTV, and he was seen buying a suitcase. After this, he went to buy cleaning supplies and then travelled by taxi to a car rental company where he rented a red Toyota Corolla. Hours later, he went on a date with another woman who he had matched with on Tinder. After getting bad vibes from Jesse, the woman refused his invite to get into his car and she went home alone. After meeting the woman, Jesse went to buy a rug doctor and told staff at the City Life Hotel that he needed to clean red wine stains. At 9:30 PM, Jesse was captured loading 2 suitcases onto a trolley and putting them into a rental car. At 7 AM the following day, he was seen buying a shovel. After this, he took the rental to a self-service car wash and power washed the car before returning it to the rental company. On the 5th of December, Jesse was picked up on CCTV in Albert Park and other various locations where he can be seen putting things into the rubbish bins. On the 8th of December, after gathering Jesse's movements, the police brought him in for questioning. Only this time, his story had disturbingly changed.
Speak to us about the events of last Saturday, is that correct?
Yes.
Tell me what happened last Saturday.
She started talking to me about 50 Shades of Grey. We started having sex. At first it was just normal. And then she asked me if we could get into bondage, having, I guess, more violent sex. We ended up on the floor, and then she told me to hold her throat.
He claimed after waking up and realising Grace was no longer alive, he panicked and put her body into suitcases and buried her.
We're going to head out of here very, very soon, and you're going to take us to where you've buried her.
Yeah.
She will likely be exhumed tomorrow.
Despite Jesse's attempt to clean the room, forensics uncovered Grace's blood on the floor using luminol. The police descended onto Scenic Drive in search of Grace, and shortly after 4 PM they found her body.
I can now advise that a short time ago we located a body which we believe to be Grace.
Jessie Kempson was charged with the murder of Grace Millane. Evidence from the autopsy showed Grace had been strangled due to the bruising on her neck. Dr. Simon Stables confirmed a considerable amount of force would have been applied and the pressure on her neck would have lasted between 5 and 10 minutes and would have killed her. Whilst Grace was laid dead in Jessie's room, instead of calling anyone to ask for help or informing the police, instead he made disturbing internet searches which shows how far he was willing to go to conceal Grace's murder. He also visited the pornography website Pornhub for videos to watch. Even more sickening, Jessie took 7 intimate photos of Grace's body, manipulating her body to get the shots he wanted. Jessie appeared in court and pleaded not guilty, and his trial was set for November later that year. The trial lasted 3 weeks, and Jessie's defence argued that Grace's death was caused by rough sex that had gone wrong and was a tragic case of sexual misadventure, and that Jessie panicked and covered it up.
It was an accidental death that took place in the context of sexual activities that, if done incorrectly by inexperienced and or intoxicated people, can go wrong.
As seen in the footage, Jessie was calm and calculated the day after, and with a stack of strong evidence and eyewitnesses, the prosecution argued that Jessie had created a labyrinth of storytelling and lies as he went about covering his tracks.
Case to have killed Grace Millane, the defendant, gentleman over here at the back behind me, had to have had her under his grip, suffocating her, strangling her is probably the correct term, for a total of 5 to 10 minutes, at some point of which she lost consciousness and would have become under his hand hold, unconscious and limp and lifeless, and he had to carry on. And if that's not reckless murder in this country, ladies and gentlemen, somebody will have to explain to me what is.
On the 22nd of December 2019, Jessie Kempson was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison with a minimum non-parole period of 17 years.
Do you find the defendant, Jessie Shane Kempson, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
After seeing Jessie in the media, a woman came forward and told the police that Jessie had sexually assaulted her 8 months prior to him murdering Grace. The woman was a British tourist and was 21 at the time. She also met Jessie on Tinder. After meeting him, he took her back to his Auckland motel room and she lay crying and frozen on the bed after refusing to have sex with him. He then sexually assaulted her. Another woman came forward and told the police she was in a relationship with Jessie and he had subjected her to violent assaults and threatened her with a knife, saying he would kill her. Jessie faced 2 more trials and he was found guilty in both trials, which added an additional 11 years, which would run concurrently alongside the sentence he received for the murder of Grace. A month after Grace was found, her funeral took place in Brentwood Cathedral. Scott Baird, the officer in charge, flew to the UK to support Grace's family.
We would like to thank several people. Auckland Police Force, been professional, diligent and thorough all through this investigation. Last but not least, we would love to thank the people of New Zealand. They've opened their hearts to Grace and her family. I cannot express our gratitude enough for all the offers and gifts of kindness that we've received.
In 2020, the Milane family suffered another tragic loss, as David, Grace's father, lost his battle with cancer. No family should have to endure this much pain, and we hope with all our hearts the family and friends of Grace and David are getting the support they need. Gillian Milane and Anna O'Callaghan set up the Love Grace campaign. Throughout the pandemic, they have donated hundreds of care packages to NHS workers, patients and carers. I will leave a link down below. Rest in peace, Grace and David Milane.